Hey, Colleen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Liam?
I'm doing great, thanks. Long time no see.
Yeah,
Mm.
I agree with that.
Welcome everybody. It is uh, I don't even know what episode number it is. It's this episode. We are taking a closer look at Ultra LMS's 3900.110. This is part of the February 2025 release, and we're looking specifically at one feature, and that's around question generation using AI Design Assistant in Blackboard Ultra. We are going to jump in and just give a little bit of a demonstration on how that looks. Hopefully talking at a little bit of a slower pace than was in the Fave 5 at 5
Mm,
because we started um, behind, well, quite behind. So now we don't have that time limit and I can
yeah,
take my time.
that's right.
Before we jump in, as we always do, a quick little reminder that feature availability with any of our updates is subject to change according to the development progress at the respective companies. So in this case, it would be Anthology. So if a feature is announced to be released, we don't hold them to that. They may have to pull that back and release it later. That said and out of the way, we're going to jump right in and talk about we're going to take a closer look at our number 3 pick from February's release, and this is the AI Design Assistant update, now allowing you to set a larger maximum number of generated questions and learning modules in your Blackboard course. When you use the AI Design Assistant as an instructor, you can now set the number of maximum questions to 20, previously 10, as well with the number of modules. If you're creating a modules, you can increase the number of modules that you want, I believe, to 20 as well. And one of the nice pieces about that is that if you wanted, say you wanted 40 questions, historically, you would need to run that AI question generator 4 times over, and inevitably you're going to get multiple questions that are either very similar or exactly the same. There are ways around it by changing the question type, but you're still going to be getting a lot of the same content. That in itself doesn't warrant the us doing a closer look at this one, but we thought we would take this opportunity to do a demonstration just in case this is a new concept and you have not seen this as an available option. So we're going to go through a quick little demonstration and show you how that's done. So we're going to jump into our Blackboard course. I have one ready to go here. This is a sports team management course because baseball's on the brain. We're going to look at creating a question bank and then a test using AI's Design Assistant. And for that, I'm going to scroll down to module number 3, recruiting and team building here. And you'll see in this folder, I've created an item, a document here called Recruiting and Team Building, an overview. I'll open this up just to give you an idea of what we're looking at. You see we've got some text in here, several different sections here, scouting and recruitment, building team chemistry, and so on. And this is what we're going to use to generate the questions. So I'll close this document and we're going to go over to, so I'm in the course in the content area. Over here in the details and actions menus, we see question banks. So we'll go to manage banks and we are going to click this plus icon right here. I'll delete this one for a moment so that we get that out of the way. Your screen might look like this if it's a brand new course. So just click again, that little plus icon, and we're going to click auto generate. And this is where we get to select the content that we want used. It's already working because it's kind of scouring through the content, but we want to select one specific piece of content. So we're going to select the courses item, and it's in the content. Remember that was in module 3, recruiting and team building. And this is the document right here. The checkbox selects it. So you see over here, I have one item selected. It's called recruiting and team building and overview. This is the document there.
Mhm.
Click select items, and now we've selected the content. We can choose our question type. I don't like to use the inspire me option here because I like my question banks to kind of be nice and tidy. So if I'm building a question bank around this document and I want to use multiple choices, true, falses matching, I would prefer to create those question banks individually. Personally, that's not saying that that's a rule. It's just something that I've gotten into the habit of. So I'm going to choose multiple choice as my question type. I'm going to keep the complexity here. You may choose to play around with that and tweak that. And I'm going to move that number of questions all the way up to 20. You may be wondering what's in the advanced options. Right now, that's just about the output language. You do have the choice to choose multiple, from a wider range of text. So I'm just going to leave it as English, and I will click generate. While that's working, I'll say you could also just put content in here, or you could outline some of the learning objectives, and the students could, or sorry, the AI design assistant would pull from that, but we've selected content. So it's going through that document now and pulling out 20 questions. Blue banner up at the top does warn you or remind you that this is auto-generated content, and as the instructor, you're responsible for reviewing it. But you can see it's pulled through some questions. So what should a manager look for when assessing potential needs? And it's given some options and then selected, showing the correct answer. We would scroll through here and review each of the questions. So that first one, I'm like, yep, that's a great question. Number 2, and you will know that you have to select each of these questions individually, which is just reinforcing the idea of you have to review these questions. As you see on screen, I'm not actively reviewing them because this is just for a demonstration, but you should review each of these questions as you go through. So I'm going to grab 20 questions here that are multiple choice. Bear with me, folks. I'm almost there. And there we go. So we've got my 20 questions selected. See here, now I'm going to add those 20 questions to the bank. Now I have one question bank, and I should have titled this when I was in the previous screen, but I can fix that here. Click the 3 dots. Oops, nope, just click it, sorry. And then come back up to the top of it, and we can call this recruiting. What was the title of this? I don't remember. We'll just call it recruiting. And all of these questions are multiple choice, so I'm going to put multiple choice there. I also like to put the year personally, that when I've updated it, or even the semester, so that I know when I last reviewed that question bank. Now I've renamed it, closed that, and I've got my question bank right there, which then means I can build my test directly from there. So let's go into module number 3. We'll open this up, and inside there, I'm going to create a test. And inside here, so this is a review quiz. Click the plus icon. I'm going to create a question pool, selecting from that question bank that I just created. I'm going to select everything, and I'm going to add questions. Since I made this question bank is entirely multiple choice, That means I don't need to bother with going down here to the question types and filtering through. I just know these are all multiple choice, and I can hit add questions. And that also means now that this question pool can be designed without concern about giving some students essay questions or true false or whatever um, as an imbalance. I can modify that here and say, oh, I just want to pick 15 of those questions for each of my students and hit save. Now the same feature is available inside a quiz. We can come in to click that plus icon, click auto generate questions. And again, just like before, we can select the content that we want to assess. We can pull the same one. Let's do this guy here, select questions, and let's do essay questions. And we'll do 3. Now, if you know that you are going to want 3 or 4 essay questions or 2, I would actually encourage you to increase the number. So I've actually bumped that up to 8. The reason for that is that then I have some choice. The AI design assistant is going to create a bunch of them, and I'm going to look through and figure out which ones I like the best. So I can review these, discuss the role of managing diverse personalities within a sports team, how can conflicts be resolved effectively, and I can measure or not whether or not that question is relevant or tied directly to my learning outcomes. What are essential steps a manager should take? What way does the recruiting process impact the overall culture? Explain the various scouting strategies, and you can see each of these examples. So let's use, actually it even pulled here, I noticed number 5, it says analyze the case study of the high school basketball team mentioned in the document. What were key factors in their success despite initial setbacks? Maybe you like the fact that it's got that, because there is a case study in the document that I was using. It's recognized that, pulled that out, and I might say, actually, that's the question that I want all of my students to be using. And you can see with each of these questions, it has given an example of a correct response. This is for you as the instructor to kind of guide what you're looking for in a correct answer. It's also the feedback that students would be able to see if you are enabling the feedback to your students. So I'm going to use number 5. I'm going to click add to the assessment. And now you can see that that question has been integrated in here. I can change the value of that. I'm going to say that that one is worth 5. If you want to modify the question, you can do that here. And you can also change your correct response feedback here as well. And I think that's it. So now what we have here is a question we have generated using the AI design assistant. We created a whole question bank of multiple choice questions that we were able to use in an assessment. And we also use the same tool directly in a quiz so that we can use an essay question in here as well. I prefer to use the question banks whenever I can so that they are easy to track down later. But that is entirely up to you and how you like to design your course. So I think that unless there's anything I skipped over or need to clarify, Colleen, is there anything I need to go back to?
Nope, you're good.
All right. Wraps up today's demo. I hope this has been helpful for you following along. If you are, what do I want to say here? I think that's it. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's it. So we're going to wrap up. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, share it with your colleagues if you would be so kind, spread the word and help everybody learn about these tools that are available. Don't forget also that we have our drop-in sessions every Tuesday and Friday at 10:30. The link to that is in your Blackboard calendar. And that's it. So that's all for today, folks. Thank you very much for joining us. We hope you have and had a great day.